kudzu in this and wisteria. I let the invasives grow around the yard, and then I'll throw a basket making class, and they have to cut my yard and trim it so that they can have a basket. I have ulterior motives. I've made pine needle baskets for a very long time. This is a tall one, looks kind of like a canister, and on the top there's some tenerife lace. That's how a lot of people start their basket, but that's very European from a book. Native people didn't have time to make lace. Besides that, we didn't want the bugs to get in our food, that we held in here. But I still did this after 40 years of not doing it. I'm just making one of everything. I work with a lot of different Native people. This one is Catawba pottery from Rock Hill. And Miss Bauer, well actually it's Dr. Bauer made this, and it is a warrior face. I like to have them where they poke the holes in the outside, and I can start the basket from there and then work on out. This is coiled too, but it's coiled kudzu. Now it might look black from where you're sitting or standing, but this is dyed in indigo. The chemicals in kudzu and indigo is a very good marriage. It gets dark quick and it stays together. It's also much more primitive and rustic, and it doesn't take nearly as long, therefore it's not as expensive. Some of the pine baskets, I can work a week or two on them, 5, 6, 7 hours a day. During COVID, I haven't worked in the school system since March, okay? So I have to stay home with my mother. And she's got a little dementia now, so I have to tell her over and over, and a different way of being nice and patient. So I put a movie on in her room and hope she watches it for a while. I just wanted to make a ribbed basket. This takes a long time, and you have to start with 2 rings, and then you have to put the very spiky points in each of the God's eyes that you make, and then you just fill it in. It sounds easier than it is. 3 years ago, I went to Japan. My son was stationed over there. He just got back from deployment again. Can I go see him for Thanksgiving? No, but maybe later on. In Japan, the family I went to meet has made this cloth out of kudzu for 70 years in their family. Now, Kudzu Cloth has been made there for hundreds of years or thousands of years, depending on who you talk to. My aunt is 84, a couple years younger than my mom, and her kids, my cousins, didn't want her loom, and it was butterfly maple or something like that. It was a real expensive one. So Aunt Bonnie lives in Portland, and she sent me her loom, 450 pounds worth. And my friend, Dave Lindsay, he's supposed to be here, and he helped me set that thing up, and he took it down and took it apart because we did it wrong, and we figured it out finally, and Aunt Bonnie got over her hip surgery, and she flew out, and she was helping me warp it. Now, for a weaver, once you're warped, what's weft? And she helped me so much that I had to go and get a drink of water or something, and then I came back into the room where the loom was, and she was flat on her back underneath the loom. And I said, "Hey, Aunt Bonnie, what you doing down there?" And she said, "Well, I just thought it might be an easier way to get to the back of the loom." And I said, "Aunt Bonnie, can I help you up and let's not do that again? I'll move a couple pieces and we'll get you to the back." So that's what we did. And she said, "Don't you tell anybody. But if I like you a lot, I'd turn you into a story real quick." Now for the cloth that I'm making, you have to take the green kudzu vine and you ferment it in water for 2 weeks. It smells horrible. And it's very good fertilizer for your plants. Just don't put it by your open window. Yeah, put a lid on it. the fiber gets very thin and translucent like this. I take the long fibers, and with a special knot that I learned in Japan, I tie them together and wrap it on a big spool. Then I take those long pieces and put it on my spindle, and then sometimes I'll just dye it in indigo. So you can do all kinds of things with something that has a bad reputation if you work with it and are kind to it long enough. One of the things that has a horrible, horrible reputation, and you'd never guess in a million years, with this beautiful bag that my friend made for me. He made it long enough to where I could figure out how long I wanted it, and he sent me some of his fiber. It's corded stinging nettle. Now, if you've never been in a patch of stinging nettle, you'll do it one time and remember what that looks like real good from now on. But he takes that after it's dried and it doesn't sting you anymore, and then you take it and you wet it and you cord it together. I can show you how to do some cordage if you've never done that. And this is one of the most beautiful purses I've ever had in my life. I got real good friends. I want to tell a story now, and it's for nighttime. And all the kids at school want a scary story, and I'll tell them I don't do scary stories because I get scared myself and I can't go to sleep at night. So long, long time ago, there was this coyote. He was howling on a hill in Walhalla near my house. And he was saying in his language, "Hey, won't one of you pretty stars up there dance with me? I'm a good-looking coyote. I got a lot of good dance moves. Oh, which one of you will dance with me?" Now the western, the northern, and the eastern star, they said, "Coyote, we're not dancing with you. You don't follow through. You say you're going to do something and you don't." But the kind southern lady star, she said, "Coyote, I see that you're very handsome and I'll dance with you all night long. But you got to promise to dance all night." He said, "Oh, I will. Pretty star lady, just take me up there with you. Will you?" And she did. She reached her hands down and she picked the coyote up, and he was holding on tight to her hands because he was looking down and didn't know how he got up there, but he was happy because she was pretty. And he looked into her eyes and she looked into his, and they were dancing. And they were doing the two-step and the round dance and all the dances they did up here and will do again. And he was holding on to her, and after a while he said, "Pretty southern star lady, you dance real good, but don't you think we need to sit down and have a little glass of water?" She said, "Coyote, you promised to dance with me all night long. It's our job as stars to twinkle and twirl up here, so when the children look up, they'll remember the sky people love them." Fine, he says, "I can dance as long as you can." And he put on his best moves, and he was popping and locking and doing all the contemporary stuff that I don't know how to do because I'm old. And he was swinging that girl around until he tripped himself by stepping on his own tail. Ow! Coyote let go of the star lady's hands and he fell out of the sky. My friends down there in the Southwest, they go, "Yeah, we've got that story." And when Coyote fell out of the sky, he landed down here in Arizona so hard he made a deep, long ditch. And today we call it the Grand Canyon. And my friends up in the north part of the United States, they go, "Yeah, we've got that story too. But when Coyote falls out of the sky, he bounces 5 different times. Up here in the north part of the United States, and all those big holes filled up with water, today they call them the Great Lakes." And then my friend said, "Oh my gosh, I heard that story you tell so many times. I know what happened with the dirt that went out of the big holes. They fell down in North Carolina." They did, and they're called moccasins that rhyme with moccasins. Honest to goodness, if you don't believe me, ask a biologist, because I never lie, I just tell a story. And they say that in these round circles up there in North Carolina in the Piedmont and towards the coast, only certain kind of plants grow there to this day. But my friends looked at me and said, "Yeah, you got your mocks ripped off. You gave them to somebody who's going to make you a pair of moccasins, and they never came back with your pair." And that's why today I will wear crocossins. Until I can find somebody who make me better mocks, you know. But the way that you end the story is, here in the South, we have that story too. And when Coyote falls out of the sky, he deserves to have his tail catch on fire. Catches on fire, and Coyote becomes the first shooting star. Now, sometimes on television, you can have the reporter say, ooh, there's a Leonid meteor shower coming soon. No, it's not. It's a bunch of coyotes getting together, and they're all coming out of the sky at once because they're all good looking. They all have some southern star lady that will dance with one of them somewhere. Habu? Habu means, are you listening? Do you understand? That is a word I brought with me from the Lashutsi language-speaking people from where I was born in the northwest coast. Every time I say Habu, you say Habu, and you might get another story. Habu? Habu. Well, all right then. I guess I'm filling in time. You know, if we don't laugh with each other or make fun of you, we don't like you at all. So if I haven't made fun of you yet, we'll stick around a little bit longer, because after this, and after they do their dancing, and if there's any time left, you can make a small bird's nest basket, because I made you sing in the beginning. So now you have to take something home and say that you learned something. What story shall I tell? Long, long time ago, the Cherokee say that we had two of the first people, Kanadi and Selu, first man, first woman, and they loved each other. And they loved each other for a long, long time. And they had a roundhouse, because we never lived in teepees. And in this roundhouse, one day, that old woman, Selu, got mad at her husband, and we don't know why. That was the rest of the story. And she put a basket on her arm, and she walked into the east out of her door so fast that Kanadi didn't even know she was gone for a while. And then he looked up and saw her out the window walking as fast as she could. And he yelled at her, Selu, Selu, what did I do? I'm sorry, wait for me. We'll work it out. And that old woman just wanted to be mad for a while. There's a country western song about that. And she had that basket on her arm, and she was walking as fast as she could, not thinking about nothing except just leaving and walking and being mad. So Kanadi said, hey, Creator, help me out here, will you? Because I love this woman. We're supposed to be together, but she's kind of walking fast. Creator said, oh, I know what to do. I'll help. And he made trees grow up all around her, and they had plums and apples of all different colors and peaches and beautiful fruit. And she was so mad, she looked straight ahead, and she wasn't looking up at all. Creator said, I know what. And he made these beautiful bushes grow closer to the ground, and they had currants and blackberries and raspberries and all colors of berries to tempt that woman to put them in her basket. She was so mad, she still was focused on going straight away, walking really fast. And the Creator said, I didn't know that I made this woman's heart so hard. I know what I need to do now. And he made a little evergreen bush that would grow on the ground real close with little heart-shaped red berries. And she was just walking on those berries and crushing them. And the beautiful aroma reached her senses. And she came to hers and said, oh, I bet you my husband would like some of these. And she tasted one, he would. And she remembered her husband, and she put the berries in her basket, and she turned around and found him running towards her as fast as he could. And they met together in the middle somewhere, and they both told each other that they would never go to bed angry again, to work it out before they could sleep. And as they were going to enter their round house, Kanadi said, I'm taking some of these berries. I'm planting them all around, and they'll stay green all year, reminding us to keep our love fresh and new. And she said, darling, you got me some honey from the bee tree the other day. I'm going to take some of these berries and I'm going to put them in that honey. And she did, to save them for later on. And the honey and the berries mixed together. And today I say that Selu was the first one to make strawberry jam. So before you come tomorrow and you go to Hardee's for breakfast and a biscuit, ask for some strawberry jam. Abu, thank you very much.